Hey there, this is the last section of polynomials, order of operations. And it's cool because it incorporates all the stuff we've done in all the different sections. So, as always, I challenge you to go ahead, do the questions, and see how it goes. And then come back and turn the video back on. So, pause the video now. Pause. All right, and we're back. Okay, so one thing that happens with polynomials, especially with order of operations, is we get lazy with the instructions. It just simplify, which doesn't tell you what you're supposed to do. And these first three questions I put in there very specifically because this is so common a mistake with students. And let's not have you be that student. Okay, what's going on? Well, that's addition. That's subtraction. There's nothing in between. That would be multiplication. A lot of students, again, you get to a test, you get all stressed out, you see two bracket, a binomial and a binomial, that must be FOIL. I have to FOIL every single time. No, if there's something in between, you're not multiplying. All right, so this is just a plain old addition question. So the rule for addition is if there's nothing up front, I can drop the brackets, 16x. Well, that's not just addition any time, minus 12y. Now, if there's just a plus in front of the brackets, I can also just, okay, for a minute there, I could not talk and write at the same time. So there's nothing up front or just a plus, you can just drop the brackets. Now I've got 16x and 24x. That should be 40, but my brain's, kind of worried today. So 16 plus 24 is 40. Yep. So we got 40x, and we got minus 12y, and 2y is minus 10y. Now remember, those are not two like terms, so you can't put them together. So the question is done. Done, 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 done. And unlike multiplication or division, where you can kind of make some kind of rules about how many terms should be in your answer, you can't really do that with addition and subtraction. It depends on the question itself. But I will give you this hint. If you're doing a whole page of questions and everything you're able to combine down into one single term at the end, double check what's going on. That shouldn't happen if you have a mixture of addition and multiplication and division and stuff like that. Just saying. All right, let's look at the next one. Nothing out front, so 16x minus 12y. Now we're going to use our distributive property. If you want, again, you can think there's a little bitty minus 1 in there, and you're multiplying through by that. But I just remember minus 24x minus 2y. That negative means everything in my second bracket, I'm going to change my sign. So it was plus 24, it's now minus 24. It was plus 2, now it's minus 2. All right, 16 minus 24, minus 8. Don't judge me this morning for using my calculator. It's just that day. Minus 12 and minus 2 is minus 14. There we go. Done like dinner. Now this one is multiplication. We have two sets of brackets with nothing in between. That means multiplying. So we're going to FOIL. Hey, these numbers are pretty big and there's some signs. So you know what? I'm going to do it Brian's way. I'm going to organize for 16x times 24x. There's my first FOIL. Now I've got 16x times 2y. There's my outsides. Now I got my insides. Minus 12y times 24x. And minus 12y times 2y. Okay, what a mess. Before we go any further, just do a quick scan and make sure none of these lines are the same two numbers multiplying. Okay, if there's no real duplicates of numbers up there, there better not be any here. I also want to check that my minus 12y is there. Okay, so now we can, this was my organizing. Now we're actually going to do the multiplying. 16 times 24, 384. And x times x is x squared. 16 times 2 is 32, xy. 12 times 24 is negative 288. Now, one thing to do this time at this step, remember the rules about order. We're going to write it as an x, y. I know the y was here and the x was back there, but best practice is if you have two different variables, write them in alphabetical order, and then it becomes really easy to see that this one and these ones are going to combine, right? Because if you had it yx, there's a small chance that you might not catch that. And negative 12 times 2 is negative 24 y squared. All right, so organize. This is the multiply. And now we need to actually put them together. I'm going to put it down here. Normally I would write it out there, but I don't have enough room. 384 x squared. Those are all my x's. Now I need to go 32 plus minus 288 minus 256 xy minus 24 y squared. Remember when you're doing that last step, this one, I'm going to highlight my answer because there's so much stuff going on here. You're not, you're combining like terms. So when you're doing that, remember you're not changing the variables at all. All right, Coolio. Just deciding which question. Let's go back up here. All right, so this is a multiplication question. And actually it's easier than this one down here because I don't have to FOIL. I just have to distribute. So 5 times 5 is 25. X squared times x is x to the third. Y times y, whoops, y to the fourth times y is y to the fifth. Remember, when you're multiplying, you're adding your exponents. You don't need like terms. Multiplying through 5 times minus 12 is minus 60. X squared times x is x to the 3. And x, y to the fourth times y squared is y 6. All right, so two terms here, two terms here. If you're multiplying a monomial times a binomial, so one term times two terms, you will get two terms in your answer. Okay. If, let's flip over here for a sec, it's two terms and two terms, normally you get three terms. There's exceptions when you don't, but normally you'll get three terms. Oh, check that out. Look at that question. That is cool. Look, they even got square brackets in there. All right, well, bed mass, right? This is order of operations, bed mass. I should have written that somewhere. It says we do our brackets first, and if we have multiple sets of brackets, we start on the inside. So 3a squared minus, okay, I'll show you. I'm going to worry about this one and these brackets first. Everything else, oopsies. I can't put the 7 and the minus 2a together because they are not like terms, but I can get rid of that set of brackets because there's just a plus. So I can go plus 7 minus 2a squared, just like I was doing over here. If there's just a plus in front, all you do is bring it along. Now this negative, I'm going to distribute minus a, I'll make that look like an a, minus 4. And then I'm going to close my bracket. So in that step, I got rid of those two sets of round brackets. Now I can combine my like terms. Now I see I've got an a, I've got a squared, and I've got some numbers. So I'm going to start with the a squared because you write them in descending order. But that was the only a squared there was. So that's good. Now I've got a minus a and I've got a 5a. So that's going to be 5a minus a. So it's going to be plus 4a. And then I've got a 7 and a minus 4. And 7 minus 4 is plus 3. Close my square brackets. All right. So if I look at this, I've got a squared, a and a 3. I can't put those together because they're not like terms. So I'm done with this bracket. So then my next step is going to be distribute. So 3a squared. Now a negative times a negative gives me positive 2a squared minus 4a minus 3. Remember, when there's a negative out front of your brackets, all you really need to do is swap your signs. So we're good that way. Now, anything that's left, we got 3a squared plus 2a squared is 5a squared minus 4a minus 3. Because these guys just tag along because they don't have anything to do. Oh, look at that one. That, what is that? This one. Sorry, I can hardly see it there. What process is that asking for? Looks like multiplication to me. Also looks a little scary. So I'm going to do it the long way. Okay, and you're going, what do you mean scary? Well, you know what? We got x's and y's. And this negative 3x at the, it just looks weird. Not what I'm used to. It's not just like x plus 3 times x minus 2, where it's real simple. And, you know, you can just do it in your head. This way, take your time. And your first step is just organizing. So the first one here times the first one there. And then outside, so it's going to be 5x times 4y squared. And realize you're just distributing. You're taking the 5 and you're multiplying it by everything in the back bracket. So first we multiply it by the negative 3x, then we multiply it by the 4y squared. Now we take the negative 2y squared and we distribute that. Minus 3x and minus 2y squared plus 4y. Oopsies, I didn't need that plus in there. Now, if you want to play a game, matchy, 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 matchy. So it's all there, but none of them, you don't have 5x times minus 3x. You don't have that showing up somewhere else, right? Because all of my terms up here are different, so all the pairings here should be different too. Now, I'm going to do the math. 5 times minus 3 is minus 15x squared. 5 times 4 is 20x y squared. Doing that alphabet thing again, right? Put your variables in alphabetical order. It'll save you time later. Equals negative 2 times negative 3 is 6xy squared. See, when you put them in alphabetical order, how pretty that is? And equals negative 8. Oops, look. I lost my square there. Y to the 4th. I should have caught that when I said, look at how they match. I didn't catch it. So now we're going to combine our like terms. Minus 15x squared, 20, and that's xy squared and xy squared. So it would be plus 26 xy squared minus 8y. I'm going to circle that because you know what? Well, it makes it easier for you to see the answer, right? If you've already done it and you just want to quickly run through, make sure it's all good. Ta-da, there we go. All right, 2 more left. Ooh, a scary subtraction. No, it's not scary, it's just long. So, first part, there was nothing out there, so I can just rewrite it without my brackets. And then we're going to distribute. And before I go any further, well, actually, before I go any further, 3 and a 2, none, 14y. I've been messing up with my exponents this morning. And this one, 3 and a 2, x and a y squared, okay. And my signs changed, right? Because that's the point of this. Now, let's see, what do we got? There's an xy squared, sorry, x cubed y squared. There's x cubed y squared, so it's going to be 7. Now I've got a minus 5xy, and I've got plus 8xy, which is going to be plus 3xy. Now, look at this. We got 14y and minus 10y squared. Can you put those together? Nay, nay, my friends, you cannot, because they are not like terms. They are both y's, but they both have to either have no exponent or an exponent of 2. So plus 14y minus 10y squared. And there we go. You will never know whether I was being tricky with that question or I just typed it out wrong. Give me the benefit of the doubt and pretend I was being tricky. Okay, there was none of them in all the practice we've done that looks like this. But I saw this question and I got excited and I thought, you know, we can handle this. It was kind of cool. All right, first of all, that is a dot. That's not a typo. I'm going to make it bigger. And what does that mean? Yes, I hope you said it means multiplication. So I know they're fractions. I said the F word, fractions. All right, it's been forever since we've done it, but frankly, you multiply across top, across the bottom. So let's do that. 3 times 20 is 60. Now we've got x6 and x to the 5th is x11. And y11 times y8 is y19 over 10 times 12 is 120. X squared times x to the 4th is x to the 6th. Y to the 5th times y to the 3 is y8. Okay, my brain just said, hey girl, pay attention. 60 divided by 120 is not, I'm not going to say it. It's 0.5. Okay, smaller number on top. This number is going to be less than 1. X to the 11 divided by x6 is going to be x5. And y19 divided by y8 should give me y11. And there, dun, 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 is my final answer. Now, I'm going to show you something magical called canceling. One of my favorite students of all time, she was from Gordon. I will not say her name, but she assured me that her family had the math gene. I don't know if there's a math gene, but if you think you have it, you have it. If you are upset because your family does not have the math gene, then there is no math gene. Everybody can get better at math. She was the queen of canceling. She was so amazing. She could like double and triple cancel, and I would just go, I'm going to take a couple of steps to do what you're doing in one. Yeah, she was just amazing. Anyway, so here we go. I'm going to show you how to cancel. You don't have to know how to do this. It's just cool. And maybe some of you already have seen it. All right, 3 goes into 3 once, goes into there 4 times. 10 goes into 10 once, goes into 20 twice. Now, x to the, okay, look at all those x's. X to the 6 divided by x2, that leaves me x4 up there. There's nothing that matches, so I can do y to the 11 divided by y fifth. That's going to give me to the 6th. x5 divided by x4, that gives me x. And y8 divided by y3 gives me y to the 5th. Got it? So number-wise, all I've got left is a 2. Oh, and she would also go 2 goes into 2 once, goes into there 4 twice, and she would have 0.5 or 1/2. All right, now x's. We've got 4 x's there. and one more over there. So here's my only x's that are left. X to the 5th. And then I've got y to the 11th and y to the 5th. Sorry, 6 and 5 is 11. And it is exactly the same answer, but that is kind of crazy looking. It's fine. I'll be able to figure it out. Truthfully, if you do a lot of canceling, I'll probably look at this person and go, yeah, they know what they're doing. So math is cool. Yeah, that's all I got to say.